check! It's English O'Clock! Ang pag-aaral ng English upang madaling matutunan, bakit hindi natin simplihan? Halika! Manood at makinig sa English Teacher ni Juan!
Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na to, huwag kang matakot. I made learning English easy for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. At pakishare mo na rin sa iba para marami pang mga Juan na gaya mo ang matuto. Hello, dear learners! We are now on quarter 2. Excited ka na ba para sa unang lesson natin? I bet you are, kaya simulan na natin! Our target most essential learning competency for this video is observe the language of research, campaigns, and advocacies. Bawat lahi ng tao sa mundo ay may kanya-kanyang wika o lengguwahe na kinagisnan. Ang tawag sa lengguwahe nating mga Pinoy ay Filipino. Sa mga Chinese naman ay Mandarin. Sa mga Amerikano ay English. Samantalang sa mga Italiano ay French. Ang lengguwahe ng research, campaigns, and advocacies, alam mo rin ba? This lesson focuses on observing and understanding the common language used in the fields of research, campaigns, and advocacies. As you journey through this lesson, you are expected to gain a clear understanding of the language of persuasion and different language features employed when writing in these fields of interest. Language plays an essential role in our lives. More than just serving as a way for us to communicate with one another, language also enables us to inform, entertain, influence, and persuade others. Dahil ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay tungkol sa research, campaigns, and advocacies, mas mabuti kung alamin muna natin kung ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng mga ito. Research is a careful and detailed study into specific problem, concern, or issue using the scientific method. Campaign, on the other hand, is a planned set of activities that people carry out to attain a certain goal or objective. Meron din tayong tinatawag na campaign speech, which is basically a well-planned speaking activity. While an advocacy refers to activities that argue, plead, support, or favor a certain cause. Ngayon naman, alamin natin kung ano ang purpose or aim ng mga ito. Research: to communicate discussions and present corresponding findings for variables studied. Campaign: to excite, persuade, and/or motivate listeners, convincing them to adhere to the speaker's ideas. Advocacy: to influence decision-making, especially with issues involving social, political, environmental, and economic perspectives. It is also vital to understand that research works always make use of academic and persuasive language, since the results and findings obtained from these investigative endeavors contribute to and become part of the existing body of knowledge. Meanwhile, a campaign tries to convince the listeners by employing strong and emphasized persuasive language, leaving them with good and impressive points that they can remember. While advocacy may be similar to campaign in some points, advocacy speeches present strong points that may either support or contradict existing policies and legal mandates on specific topics or issues. While the said fields differ at some extent, one common aspect that can be observed among them is the use of a common language. Simply put, the element of persuasion is the common factor one may observe in the language used in research, campaigns, and advocacies. According to thebalancedcareers.com, persuasion is convincing others to change their point of view, agree to a commitment, purchase a product or service, or take a course of action. Naranasan mo na bang bumili ng isang produkto dahil na-convince ka sa sinasabi ng nagtitinda nito? Wala ka naman sana talagang planong bumili, pero dahil napabilib ka sa mga sinasabi ng nag-e-endorse nito, ayun, naengganyo ka tuloy bumili. Ibig sabihin, you were persuaded, nadala ka, na-convince ka. Persuasion can also be applied in writing. Here are some of the language features or language devices usually employed in persuasive writing. Emotive language, modal verbs, involving the reader, rhetorical questions, using evidence, repetition, adjectives and adverbs, association. Let's deal with it one by one. Emotive language involves the use of words that evoke emotions and make people feel a certain way. Through the use of words that appeal to the emotion, the writer can sound more convincing. This is a commonly used technique when writing headlines in newspapers or delivering speeches. Take a look at the two sentences. Number 1. The robbers brutally murdered the poor victim after looting his all belongings. Number 2. The robbers killed a man after looting him. The first sentence uses emotive language. The words brutally, murdered, poor victim are used to add emotions and to make the readers feel the pain. While the second one is the non-emotive version of the sentence. It only gives us information about an incident that happened. Next is modal verbs. The use of words that express modality or how likely something is going to happen helps adjust the level of certainty of events to suit arguments. When carefully chosen, these words such as may, might, will, must, shall, can, could, would, ought to help improve the quality of persuasive writing. Here is an excerpt from a blog. See how the use of modals help the writer in persuading the readers. The title is Mother Earth, Handle with Care by Patricia Ann Maglaya. Recently, a typhoon devastated some parts of the Philippines that caused severe floods, damage to infrastructures, and deaths. Many people suffered a lot during and after the typhoon. Cagayan was tremendously affected by the typhoon. Communities submerged by destructive flash floods and the residents faced with concerns because of the ongoing COVID-19 health crisis. As a concerned citizen, we should do something. It's never too late for an action. We must take care of our environment and be responsible. We can start by planting trees, recycling, disposing waste properly, and reducing the use of plastics that has a huge effect in the environment. By these simple actions, we could save many lives. Another language feature used in persuasive writing is involving the reader. This is done through the use of personal pronouns like you, your, we, our, and indicative words like together. Using these words establishes a connection between the author and the reader. This way, the issue is made personal and more important to the reader. Imagine you are an audience listening to speech of a speaker, and suddenly, the speaker utters this line. If you don't use your power for positive change, you are indeed part of the problem. This sounds personal, right? It's as if the speaker is personally talking to you because he uses the word you. Iba yung dating. Malakas ang impact dahil ikaw mismo ang pinatutungkulan. Let's proceed to rhetorical questions. These are questions that are not supposed to be answered. Instead, they are asked for effect, to illustrate a point, or let the reader think. The use of questions that sometimes state the obvious can convince the reader to agree on the points being presented. Sa rhetorical question, hindi ka nagtatanong para makakuha ng sagot, kundi nagtatanong ka dahil may gusto kang ipunto. Example, if you came late to a meeting, someone might say, "What time do you call this?" This person doesn't want an answer to the question. He is just making the point that you arrived late. Here are some other examples of rhetorical questions. Who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? Do we really want our planet to survive? Wouldn't you feel happy if this pandemic finally ends? Number 5 is using evidence. This involves the use of facts, figures, or quotes from experts to highlight the writer's authority and make the arguments presented more convincing. Take a look at the facts and figures presented in this example. The World Health Organization reported 2,803,213 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the Philippines from January 2020 to November 2021, with 44,430 deaths. Meanwhile, as of October 27, 2021, a total of 58,212,187 vaccine doses have been administered. Another language device used in persuasive writing is repetition. This technique involves repeating keywords, phrases, or ideas to appeal to the readers. Example, almost nothing was more annoying than having our wasted time wasted on something not worth wasting. Adjectives and adverbs. Using carefully selected adjectives and adverbs makes it possible for the writer to influence how the readers feel. Notice the adjectives and adverbs used in this paragraph. School uniforms should be mandatory for all students for a number of reasons. First, they make everyone equal. In this way, the rich kids are on the same level as the poor ones. In addition, getting ready for school can be much faster and easier. Many kids waste time choosing what to wear to school, and they are often unhappy with their final choices. Most importantly, some studies show that school uniforms make students perform better. Many people might say that uniforms take away personal freedom, but I believe that the benefits are stronger than the drawbacks. Number 8. Association. This technique tries to link an object or an idea with something already liked or desired by the target audience, such as wealth, success, pleasure, and security. Example, vote for cleaner air. Vote for Juan de la Cruz as president. Of course, you may also want to breathe cleaner air, right? Since Juan de la Cruz is associated with clean air, the audience might probably be persuaded to vote for him. Another persuasive technique is bandwagon. Commonly used in advertisements, this persuasion technique makes the audience believe the idea that everyone is doing it or that everyone likes something. For instance, everyone is voting for Juan de la Cruz, so definitely he is the best presidential candidate. This statement is intended to convince the audience to vote for him. And lastly is experts. This means relying on expert advice from trusted people like doctors, scientists, and other professionals for things that the audience do not know. The idea that these experts are risking their credibility to support an object or idea makes the persuasion more effective. Look at the given example. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, people with allergies to certain foods, insects, latex, and other common allergens can safely receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Those with a history of severe allergic reaction or anaphylaxis to injectables or other vaccines should discuss the vaccination with their doctor, who can evaluate and assess their risk. These are just some of the many techniques used in persuasion. It is important to understand that different techniques work for different purposes.
So did you learn something today? Sure ako na hindi ka na nosebleed. If you want more of this video tutorial and learn English in a light speed, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-turn on ang notification button para updated ka sa mga bagong lessons. Ako ang teacher mo, ang English teacher ni Juan. Class dismissed! See ya!